What's up? I've been missing, but I'm back. I need to type a few loose ends on this interior, starting with this steering wheel. Let's sort it out.
Okay. I got floaters in my eyeball, coastal splatter shot glass, smoking let my mind fall, plenty roaches, no.
So here it is, the steering wheel, and you can see in spots like here. Yeah, it's all fraying. Just looks a bit worse for wear. So, cut to the little B-roll, and you'll see what I'm going to do about it.
She switched it and turned the tub to a washing machine.
What we got here? A sew-on steering wheel cover. Cheap eBay jobby. Now it said it fits this car, but I'm calling BS on that. I don't think it's going to be as perfect as I want it to be. Anyway, I'll line the joint up at the same place the original is. The yellow is to match all the other accents around the car. Now it's been a while since I used a needle and thread. Mumsy would be proud. She can actually make clothes, no joke. Anyway, carefully threading this on without putting any extra holes in myself, as I ain't looking to be perforated out here. After the first few loops, I got the knack, but it was still boring.
Zosh is here too as well. Now, everything looks good, but I don't like the way these ends finish off. Because it's a generic fit cover, you're going to run into issues like this. So, I've come up with a little solution to style it out.
A little cover piece I made out of thin alley and covered in vinyl. Bob on. Check it.
I think that works nicely. Obviously it's behind the airbag, so you know, no chances of that going in your eye if the unthinkable was to happen. And it kind of doubles up as a nice little thumb rest. I'll say that's a pretty good job, well done. In the words of Temper T.
Next time!
Oh, I'm in my fabrication bag. The scuttle cover has annoyed me since day one. Time to get creative and make something a bit beefier.
That looks very crude, but something like that.
Here's a template. Oi, trust my process. I know it looks a bit janky, but wait and see.
So, back inside, we've got our little template and a piece of aluminium, but it's not long enough.
Well, that's a bit dumb, innit? Why didn't you check? It is what it is. And I ended up changing this design anyway, so it wasn't an issue. Here's how part of it ended up. So from cardboard pattern into sheet metal. Rivets keeping it rigid. Oh, nice. Come on. And another piece made with a hole to accommodate the bonnet plunger, and then seam sealed at the back, preventing corrosion and all that. Etch primed for that extra bite. Yeah, I'm smooth with it. Then I slapped on some textured black paint to give an OEM feel. With the sharp edges, I put on some rubber edging. It needed a bit of finessing to get around the corners. No dramas though, let's drop it in. And the side piece. And a little centre cover for that fuse box. You dig? I do.
Not bad, is it? And I also got strut brace back on as well. One sec.
That needed a proper polish job. But it looks banging now, innit? Anyway, let's put a lid on that for now. Oi. Oi, oi. Your days up there are numbered, Zosh. Violating. Anyway, I never got round to sorting the rear brakes, so let's crack on. First tapping out the retaining pins. They're proper in there. Mad. To be fair, an Allen key isn't recommended, even if it's worked before. Let's spray it up. I went and copped these metal drifts, and as the name says, they're actually brilliant tools. Let's go. Finally. It's mad how much time you save when you got the correct tools. Straight in the bin with this lot. I feel like someone's watching. She's like, oi, what are you waiting for? Get on with it. All right. Pads out.
How thin they are.
My mate living on the edge there. Get in the bin. The caliper comes off as it needs the same treatment as the front. Bling bling. Resting the new pads in. And then I torque up the caliper before I forget. Then a fresh clip and pins with a hint of copper grease. Pretty much completes the job. Or so I thought. We're going back under. The handbrake on the driver's side didn't even work, and the lever itself was pretty limp. Out with the cables then. So I measured up the thread sticking out of the lever end so I can be sure that the new one goes on in the same spot. At each wheel I undid the return spring and simply unclipped the cable. The reason it failed was partly not being clipped on the body and this corrosion, which sees the cable in its sheath. A fresh one goes on. Some reversal with removal flex. Yeah, it's easy. This is the adjuster for the handbrake shoes. Winding it in pulls the pads in, and winding out does the opposite. What I did was put the handbrake up 2 clicks, then adjust the pads until I had a slight drag. Handbrake applied fully, this ain't going nowhere. And handbrake off, free as a bird, man. Free as a bird. Yo, do me a solid and subscribe if you're liking this content. It does more than you think. Also click on the bell icon so you get notified when I upload. Thank you, please. On to sorting the curb rash on the wheels. I wasn't in a good mental space, and you can kind of tell from that last photo. Truth be told, my cousin passed away around a year ago, and I still can't come to terms with it. Thankfully, I've got good family and friends to lift me up. It's why I haven't uploaded in a while, so my apologies. Back to it, prepped the wheel for filler, and then sanded it back and scuffed the rest. I then masked off the tyres, which actually need to be changed. Etch prime the bare metal parts, and then normal primer for the rest. Followed by a bit of silver base coat, and then some lacquer. I was having a few issues with that gun as well. Long. To finish off, I got some centre caps, but none of them actually fitted nicely. So what next? That's it. Make my own, and put some nice yellow gel overlays on top. If Zosha approves, we're good. And that's another job to tick off. However, boss girl's still looking down there like there's unfinished business. And she ain't wrong. Whilst this car won't be a show standard, this flaky paint on the trims and skirts can't run. It looks shabby. Be gone. As they haven't moved in years, I got some boiling water, poured it behind to loosen them up. Then I slid them out. This car's definitely been painted in the past, as there's masking lines all over. Ah well, I'd love to paint the whole car, but time and space means
computer says no.
The mouldings were painstakingly flattened to remove the texture. Adhesion promoter is applied, followed by a plastic primer, base coat, and clear coat. The bumper trim's got it too, look, but they needed extra work. Check it.
Need to fix that, but easiest way is bumper off, I think, so let's get it moved.
How'd he get here? Mad. Good old plastic welding to the rescue. You've seen the painted one. So back onto a semi-clean bumper. There you go. And then back on the ride. Sorted. Before I continue, I'd like to thank those who watch the episodes right through to the end. Don't be like this guy, his attitude can get right in the bin.
Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
We're looking fresh in places. But not here. That's why you saw the door cards off again at the start. Because I had to strip and repaint these. They came out decent. Now that sits better with me. What do you think? The skirts, I took a slightly different approach. It would look sick body colour, but the way they stick out leads them to being chipped easier. So I prepped and filled all of the gouged out spots, as there was quite a few. Adhesion promoter applied, and then it's this stuff again. It's the same stuff I used on the scuttle cover. It goes on super patchy and looks pretty dead if I'm honest, but it dries to a uniform finish that's very resilient. Lastly, put the jack cover back in, and what? It don't fit. This car actually had 2 driver's side covers. What a fail. Anyway.
Right, swap that one out. New one in.
Replacement sourced and fitted. Sick. It's getting there. Spoiler had some issues, so I fixed them. And whilst in the area, I always had an issue getting into the boot. I had to hook up this cable to manually pull the latch from the outside. Not ideal. You could see when pushing the button, it wouldn't actually reach the mechanism. A simple adjustment by winding out the pin allowed the lever to move the latch mechanism as intended. Literally the easiest fix on this car. Why couldn't they all be like that, eh? And the centre brake light never worked. Why? It was never connected. So let's connect it. With most, but not all of the little jobs done, I need to pretty up the rest of this car. It's faded badly. State of it. A bit of pre-wash sprayed on. Shouts out to my bro-in-law Steve for the spray bottle. Let it dwell for a bit and then rinse. Snow foam to pull more grime off. Yep, I love it. But there's way more to go. Time for a contact wash. Rinse, dry, and inspect.
It's clean, but it's not. Can you hear that? Sounds rough. So I'm going to use this clay bar, get all the imprinted dirt out. Watch.
Some quick detailer and a clay bar will pull dirt off that you can't even see on the paint. The trick is to keep it lubricated or you'll mar the paint up pretty badly. Look what I pulled off.
Listen. Smooth as anything.
Now that's what I'm saying. Now to do a quick cut and polish to see if it's worth doing the rest. It's a pretty mad result after a super quick pass. So it looks like I've got my work cut out. It looks even more defined when you're right in front of it. Trust me, the paint is far from perfect, but I think you'll agree it's definitely lifted from being sat over a decade. I've got some more wet sanding to do. It's going to take me a little while, so I'll see you around. Bless up.